Greetings to everybody on Kickstarter. My call sign is Espionage, and I've been a player in the Vendetta Online universe for the past 2 years. I wanted to take this opportunity to show you some of the fun I've had in the universe over that time. But I also want to give a player's perspective on some of the changes slated for version 1.9 and what this will mean for everyday players of the game. For starters, if you were to ask any of the veterans of the game what is the most fun you can have in Vendetta Online, 9 out of 10 of those players will say furballs. Big multiplayer teamfight free-for-alls that crop up in sectors from time to time. You're watching some footage from a 3v3 battle involving myself and 5 other players fighting out over a sector of space just outside an entrance to the enemy's nation space. The sheer depth of the PvP combat system in Vendetta Online is astounding. I mean, I still learn new tricks after years and years of practicing combat. The developers have really outdone themselves when it comes to building an engaging combat system. What I'm really looking forward to now is an expansion of the depth of the contextualization of the conflict, and more objectives to fight to achieve. What I'm most excited about in Vendetta 1.9 is the expansion of player-owned capital ships to include shields and a tactical interface. But not only does this expansion provide a new role in the battlefield, but it gives you a new objective to fight over and to structure player conflict around in any given sector or in any given conflict. Players won't just be fighting for the sake of fighting, there will be a measurable player-controlled presence on the battlefield, and that adds a hell of a lot of structure and more objectives to the combat experience. We've already had some massive battles around the Trident-type M capital vessels, but it's only going to get more involved with the inclusion of shields, giving pilots even more license to perform ambitious capital ship maneuvers into hostile combat zones. Going deep into enemy territory and shaking off all the damage with the shields is something that I'm really excited to see in Vendetta Online. Other moments that stand out over the past 2 years have been the battles that we've had for the 3-player conquerable stations in unknown space. These stations are currently the only place that supply the parts to build the Trident-type M, so they're really often hotly contested by competing player groups that are trying to slow the production of enemy capital vessels for use in battles. These battles are often quite spectacular, lasting hours in a day and ending in a mad dash to be the first to dock in the station and capture it for your team. The Conquerable Station update, marked for Vendetta Online at 1.9, is going to see a huge increase in the amount of player Conquerable Station battles. And the tweaking in the rules of engagement will really provide for more contextualization and really give us more ways to enjoy the content and allow us to try different strategies in combat that we mightn't have been able to with the standard rule setup that we have now. So I'm really looking forward to that. We're also really looking forward to seeing the expansion of the Conquerable Station mechanics to dynamic territories. So say we're really successful in our military offensives, we can push right into the enemy space and capture forward bases to continue our offensive actions. Finally, I'd like to talk about the community commitment to player-run events and the developers' plans to support them even better in the future. So for years and years, players have volunteered to run an event called the Nation War, and it runs it every Sunday at the same time in usually the same location in space. This is some footage from a recent Nation War I was involved in, and as you can see, it's quite engaging. Basically, the whole idea of a Nation War is players contest a sector for a credit prize, and the only rule is you only have one life. You can't come back to the sector if you die. A lot of players have described this as kind of like the VO Fight Club that you're supposed to talk about, so it's a hell of a lot of fun. For Vendetta 1.9, the developers have really paid attention to what the player contribution core has said, and they've tabled all these changes to the PCC mission editor to allow us to run even more events like the Nation War, except this time we'll have game-side support to do it. Event coordinators are going to be able to tailor their events to fit into the game system like they've never been able to do before. You'll be able to spawn capital ship battles, enemy drones, or items in hidden locations. These are just some of the possibilities for event creators in the 1.9 mission editor. And these events really help foster a sense of community and get everyone involved and having a go at, combat or something they might not be usually willing to do in their regular course of the game. So it's a fantastic time. It's been loads of fun playing Vendetta Online over the past 2 years, and I'm positively thrilled that the developers have listened to our repeated demands for a Kickstarter campaign to fund all these great upgrades. I really hope you'll join with me in helping their vision come to life, and I hope to see you all in space soon. Ciao.